Well, I was listening to someone share about losing their best friend and like suddenly like being blindsided and like being told like like the friend calling them, telling them I don't want to be I can't be your friend anymore, like blah, blah, blah. Like I've had a couple people share their like friendship breakup stories with me. And I'm like, I would be devastated.
Yeah.
If you ever called me one day and was like, listen, this isn't working anymore.
Not working out.
And I would be like, what in the world do I do? How do I proceed with this news? So I can't even imagine like some of these when people share this really personal, hard thing of breaking up with your best friend, like
yeah, especially like you said, blindsided, like coming out of nowhere.
Yes.
Like you thought you were good.
Yes.
And
you're not.
And then you're not. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're not good. And then like when were we not good?
Right. Yeah, especially at this point in our life, like when you are in it,
mm-hmm.
It's not like you're in like a very transitional teenage college time where friends come and go really
mm-hmm.
easily. But like when you're in life, like you have like a spouse, like you're in a grown-up life. To lose a best friend, I feel like that's so much harder than when you're in high school.
Well, yeah, because especially when maybe, well, like myself, I'm not in the workforce. So that lessens the chance I get to meet somebody.
Right.
So I don't come in contact with a lot of people, and I don't know, social settings are weird for me.
Yeah.
So because I'd be that introvert.
Maybe you're a Gen Z and you didn't know it.
I know. I should have waited in the womb a little bit more. I was late. I should have been later.
I'm a silent era. Is that what they're called? X?
Yeah.
The people that lived during World War II. Oh, that's me.
Oh, why did I think that was Gen X?
No, Gen X is
nobody cares. They're the middle child. Nobody cares.
The middle child that ruined everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, but going back to like the breakup, it's like how do you proceed when this person that you have loved and shared all this life with all of a sudden like leaves you high and dry? Like, how do you process that? And I'm not here trying to say like we have the answers, but I think it's an important conversation to have and to talk about, because I think sometimes people feel very isolated or alone when a friend breaks up with them, because they're like, okay, who do I even tell this to? My friend left me, you know what I mean? Like, do I entrust this with like another semi-good friend? Or it can be very vulnerable. Is there something wrong with me? Like, what did I do?
Yeah, I think you have to. Yeah, I think that's the first thing you have to do is look at yourself objectively, introspectively. Yeah. Like, don't be biased towards yourself, because maybe they do have a point. Mm-hmm. Maybe there is something that you're doing you don't realize you're doing. Yeah. But it's causing them to kind of feel like, okay, you're an energy vampire for me. Like I can't deal with your constant like complaining, because I really don't like that. Like if you're going to constantly complain through life, I honestly can't take that, because there's just so, and I understand that we go through things and they feel like a lot for us. Yeah. But the whole thing, like it could be worse. Mm-hmm. It could be worse. Right. So I think that objectively looking at yourself through that critical lens of like, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I'm not as a confiding friend. Maybe I make it all about me all the time. I think it's really important to take that look at yourself.
I think that's really good. Yeah, like self-reflection.
Exactly.
Like
introspection.
Giving yourself that time to be self-reflective. And I think it's good to also see where that other person's at too, like also non-biasedly. See, like, are they going through an extremely difficult time? Are they going through a life crisis? Are they questioning everything in life right now? Like, who am I? Is God real? Is this real? Is like, what's life? Like, if they're going through a crisis, sometimes the people that they know will have truth, right, they'll kind of reject that a little bit, you know?
Because they don't want to look at themselves through that lens. Yeah. So if you notice that, okay, no, I think I'm good. And sometimes that means talking to other people and getting honest with other people and be like, what is your opinion? What is your actual opinion of me? Which can be really scary, at least for someone like me who has like criticism sensitivity.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that if you find out it's not you, then it actually may be them, and you need to kind of have a little grace. It just depends, like you said, depends on where they are in life. Because sometimes they don't want to be with someone who makes them see their faults or their transgressions. Sounds a little bit, I think, rough, but their transgressions. Because accepting your own faults is hard. It's hard for anybody.
It is. It's like being honest with yourself. I feel like this year has been a lot about honesty for me, like being like, okay, Daniela, like honestly look at your life, like honestly look at what you're doing, like what are your patterns, what are your behaviors, like what is it that you are feeding in your life versus depriving in your life, like what is what honest, like so I feel like it takes a lot to be really brutally honest with yourself and look at yourself and see, because that's the only way change can come. You cannot change when you're in denial. You really can't. Right. And so I think I got to a point where I'm like, I need to honestly look at my life and everything that I'm doing and see how it reflects in terms of what I want to be and where I want to go. So, even like this podcast, like I want to do this so badly. And I feel like God has put this on my heart to do this, like for us to do this podcast. But I always feel like this like negative, like voice, like, you know, like you can't, who?
It's self-doubt. Yeah. The self-doubt. Yeah.
You are going to do a podcast when your life is a hot mess.
Me,
like,
in the meantime, I'm like, she's doing so good.
No, well, thank you.
I feel like she balances so well.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I get that negative self-talk all the time, especially with something like this, where we're on a platform where we're saying like, let's talk about these things. Yeah. Because I want to reiterate, we don't have the answers necessarily. We are trying to figure life out together.
Right.
And so I feel like because we're talking truth. Yeah. I feel like that enemy is going to always be like,
what authority do you think you have?
Like, your life's a mess. Who do you think you are to talk about like getting your life together?
Look at you.
Yes.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. No, but in our weakness, he's made his strength is seen. Like we are strong in our weakness because God is using us. Absolutely. And he's working through us. So it is really like ego deflating in a good way to be like, I can't do anything.
Right.
Who do we think we are that we think we can do we control anything?
The whole die to self.
Yes. Think about real. Think about all these like even like hurricanes. Who do we think we are to think we control anything in the world? We don't control anything. But the minute we make the decision to submit and surrender to someone who actually does have control and has love, who is power, who is all these wonderful things, then we can change and become, because I'm like, I literally, I want to get a tattoo of like a piece. Okay, let me reiterate. Let me back up a little bit.
Context.
I saw, my brother's dog was staying at the house for a little bit. He was going number 2 in a certain grassy area.
That the dog was having a tattoo.
No. The dog doesn't have a tattoo.
My mind went there, but anyway.
That's probably going to be a thing. I don't know if it already is a thing, but I feel like dog tattoos is going to be a thing. Anyways, so the dog had a little specific area where he would go number 2, and it had been a while since that happened, and literally like a flower was growing out of a mohong, like a turd. And I was like, bro, like it hit me. I was like, that is such a great representation of who we are.
The symbolism.
We are essentially at our core a piece of poop.
Yeah.
but God can do wonderful things through us, and he can grow beautiful things through us. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to tattoo that on me. Like, I keep saying I'm going to tattoo things on me. I'm never going to really do it. But I'm like, I feel like that's like something that I think about all the time, where it's like, that's the only, like, we need to be honest with ourselves. And sometimes in friendships, we need to be honest with ourselves. Are we being a piece of poop right now? Are we really being a piece of poop right now?
Like you, I think, because especially, excuse me. Whoa. Yeah, no, I think especially with someone in the 9 category, which if you want to go back and watch that episode, that was a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that aversion to confrontation.
Yes.
Can kind of really hinder the growth of a relationship.
100%.
Like you think, oh, because I sidestep and because I kiss booty and, you know, I want to be everyone's friend and make everybody like me, has its time and place.
Yeah.
But ultimately, and I've had to deal with this because I've had to deal with so much confrontation in my own life right now. That does nothing for your personal growth. Does nothing for your personal growth. Yeah. Avoiding any kind of confrontation literally leaves you in a stagnant place. Yep. So, and I am not one for confrontation. So for me, that is very difficult, but
it's necessary.
Yeah. So the prayer is courage, strength,
to do it,
and timing, because just again popping off in the middle of nowhere, like I don't think you should.
There's a lot of wisdom that you need to have when you make these confrontations. Yeah, I think that's so good. That's so true, Alex. Okay, preaching.
Yeah, well, because you know you need to have those honest conversations with the homie, because who else?
Well, I want to chime in with a friend that I would love to get her perspective and input on this, because I don't think we've necessarily gone through specifically a best friendship breakup. I've had some friends that have strayed away, that have hurt me in the past, but to be a best friend, that's different. Yeah. So I want to call Jamie right now. Let's phone a friend, Alex.
Let's phone a friend.
Let's just phone a friend and see what happens.
What is that? The one from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes. We gotta add that sound effect. Hello, Jamie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You look beautiful. Oh my gosh. Look how pretty she looks.
Oh, she does. I could never look like that on camera. I really don't. I always look like an oily hot mess. So oily. Oh my God.
Thank you so much for being part of our episode today and our Phone a Friend segment. How's everything going?
Good. I'm excited to be a part of it today.
Awesome. Well, me and Alex were just chatting a bit about really looking at having that self-reflection if and when a friendship breakup happens, and also, looking at the other person, where they are in terms of this breakup happening. We ourselves have never really had a best friend breakup before. We've definitely had friendships that have broken up, or friendships that have strayed and caused us hurt. But for your very best friend to blindside you, I guess, in a way, or just end a friendship, it must be really hard. And I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, so it was my best friend of about 20 years, and wow. I just one day had gotten a really long text, and which isn't uncommon between friends. But as I began to read this text, it was just the series of all the things that I had done wrong the last 6 months or so. And I continued to read and realized that I had hurt her. But at the end of it, it just was like this breakup through text of like, we're done. We can't be friends. I don't see how we can move forward. And the things that were hurtful in her mind just seemed like they could be overcome,
right?
Like a friend can overcome so much. Yeah. And so it was just shocking. I was shocked, and there's just like hit my heart. Like I felt like we broke up over a text. And it was just this deep sadness, a deep sadness that I can only explain as like I had to grieve it. Mm-hmm. It was grief. It was a loss. And over several months, I tried to reach out and tried to repair and apologize and just whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm willing to go that distance because I love you. I love your family. And I'm not willing to throw out a 20-year relationship. So just the fact that that was not received just kind of deepened the wound. And I still grieve. You know, there's still moments in our life that I expected them to be a part of, you know, birthday parties, graduations, mm-hmm. weddings, all of those big moments you expect your best friend to be there. And that's just not the case. So we just kind of went our separate ways, mm-hmm. and I have to be okay with that. I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like walking through that journey of grief, mm-hmm. because it's supposed to be different. Mm-hmm. It wasn't supposed to be that way, and it is, and you can't change it. You are like not having control. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard not being able to fix it, but wanting to, and so it's really hard. I'm through it, but it's still there, if that makes sense. So there's still a wound, a scab, a scar, I guess, and it's been a few years.
Right. So, what were your prayers looking like after this, I guess, blindside?
At first it was just praying for her. Praying for why is this happening? Why is she feeling this way? There was a lot of misunderstanding. So I really felt like the enemy had come in and created division. Mm-hmm. I do feel like it's important in friendships to give your friend the benefit of the doubt, mm-hmm. and be careful of outside voices that can put a wedge in your friendship. Because I believe there's that happening in her life. Some other friends, maybe. Mm. I don't know, but I prayed for her because I just felt like she was misunderstanding me. And then I prayed for myself too, search my heart. Like, Lord, I know I've hurt her, and I don't want to hurt my friend.
Right.
What did I do wrong? What can I do better? What's in me? Show that to me. Of course I prayed for the relationship to be healed and restored. That part didn't happen. But I still think of her, and I still pray for her. I hope she's doing well. And I still miss her, So, yeah, that's what those prayers look like.
Thank you for being honest and sharing your story, because that's really hard to talk mm-hmm. about. I mean, I can't even imagine that. Like, when I heard you share your story about this, I literally started crying because I was like, if that ever happened, between me and Alex, I don't know what I would do. I really don't know what I would do. And that's about the same timeline of our friendship. I can't, and we've seen each other grow up, so we've gone through everything together. So I can't imagine. So thank you for sharing and being vulnerable, because what we were saying earlier is we don't have the answers of what to do necessarily, but we want to have this discussion and have this important talk, because I think sometimes people might feel isolated if that were to happen to them. Who do I even go to mm-hmm. talk about this? Because my friend is gone, So I'm so thankful for you that you were willing to share your story, and thank you for your authenticity in that.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Can you give us a quick update of what's going on with Sonia Leadership?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Sonia Leadership, I've left my other job just to pursue this on its own. And so I'm excited because we're doing different workshops. We do disc assessments and things like that. But one of the things I'm really excited about right now is that we're doing some marriage workshops and working awesome. With families and students to just help the family dynamic communicate better and help hopefully ease conflict.
That is so awesome. I think every single person needs that.
It's been super helpful for my marriage, and we've been married for 25 years, but we're still having these like whoa light bulb moments. And if known that a little sooner, it could have saved some arguing, I think
that's awesome.
Glad to know that never goes away.
I think that's awesome. Okay, well, we'll make sure to add your website on here as well for this episode, and I'm so excited for what Sonia is going to become and how you're fully pouring yourself into that. I think that's awesome.
Thanks, ladies. I appreciate y'all so much.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you for being part of
for
this.
that awesome nugget of wisdom.
So
amazing.
Great. Absolutely.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you. Well, Alex, I mean, could you imagine?
That's it. I don't know. I guess I would just curl up in a ball and die. No, I would definitely have to pray. I would definitely have to pray for the strength to get through a friendship breakup, especially this.
Yeah, I know.
I've already planned like our viejitanes together.
I know, our viejita life. I know.
We're gonna end up living together. I know. I know that for a fact. Okay.
Probably.
So yeah, no, I can't imagine how heartbreaking that must be. How devastating that must be.
And not to be open to repairing it. That's hard too.
That is difficult because she wanted so bad.
Yeah.
And the other person just didn't
into it.
And like, just I want to.
Yeah. That's
very
hard.
Difficult, yeah.
Well, I want to encourage anyone that's listening, I guess, to if you've gone through something like this, we'd love to like be in connection with them. We'd love to like pray with them. And if they can always like DM us or reach out in any way they want. On Instagram, DM would probably be the best way. Because this is a hard thing and it, like I said, very isolating. And just know that you're not alone. Like if this is something that you've gone through, this is probably pretty common. And if you feel like your relationship, I guess, maybe is like in a tumultuous time, maybe like attacking it now, like
addressing it now,
and being very open and honest with your friend and being like, listen, I know I've messed up. Like I'm so sorry that I haven't been the friend that I need to be, or just going at it in a very honest and loving way so that it doesn't get to the point where it's just like
beyond repair. Yeah.
Yeah. Beyond repair. Yeah. I'm glad we had this conversation. Alex is like, I'm uncomfortable.
No, it's just so sad.
It is
just such a sad conversation.
It is sad, but it's also reality.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not very good with reality. Okay.
We like to live in La La Land.
I literally watch cartoons for fun. Actually, that's my only source of entertainment. No, but yeah, it's definitely a conversation that needed to be had for anyone who might be going through it, like you said.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we're off to season 3. It's in the books.
There it is. There it is.
It's in there. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one.